We've covered quite a few conferences here in our quest across all 31 conferences before the season starts. And a few of them were more gruesome than Tyreek Hill's leg injury. But however, this isn't one of them. It's Mountain West night, and the captain, Mike Holland, joins me to chop it up into our world-famous tiers and to discuss whether or not this conference will once again be worthy of 4 bids to the dance. Recording live from somewhere, this is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. We're powered by the galaxy's greatest website, drroto.com. I'm your sometimes humble host. My name is Jay Heinrich, and if you don't know, now you know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. At Dr. William Cannon over there on Elon's Hellhole. Give me a follow every once in a while. You'll see me retweeting our quality content, including our top 20 countdown of returning players. Get on over there and check us out at One and Done CBB. But do yourself a favor and follow this man first. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship, at MC Holland 34 on X. The OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, what it do? We are knee deep into multi-bid conference time now, man. How's it going?
We are, man. I'm doing great, and congrats to Jay here. He won't brag himself, but I had to pay him a few dollars for our fantasy baseball league as he was able to take it down. Pretty sure he's wearing his little Astros gear to celebrate tonight. So excited to see the live chat, man. Snake's Eyes hopping in there, Darren jumping in there. We appreciate that. And here we are, man. Like you said, we've been putting out top 20 countdowns. We're just being a lot more active over there on the old socials. If you haven't checked out the previous 25 conference previews that we've done over the past couple of months, check those out. Plus, we're putting some polls out there. We did the WCC poll the other day to see, who the One and Done universe thought would win that. Posting some cool graphics, just like the active wins leaders, things like that. You're probably going to see more of that stuff as we gear up for the season. And man, after the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking betting, DFS, maybe some best ball, like more power rankings. We're just going to be doing it all, man. It's a pretty exciting time.
Not a lot of love for St. Mary's in that poll, by the way. A lot less than I expected. I mean, I didn't vote for them, to be honest. But get on over there at One and Done CBB. Make sure you also follow our guy at Nape C Hustle, pushing the buttons tonight, and then follow at Fantasy Nav, of course. Eric the Blue getting you the fire graphics you're going to see later on in the show. Make sure you follow everybody. And Darren, of course, you see Darren over there on our socials, always hanging out with us over there. We appreciate that. And he's in the live chat too. So join him in Snake's Eyes by pushing that subscribe button and hopping on in. Join the conversation as we break down the 2025-26 season for the Mountain West. Mike, last season ranked 6th out of 31 overall in KenPom Strength of Conference, according to those metrics over there. New Mexico won the league by 1 game over Colorado State, who then would find the mojo, whatever they needed to have happen. That went on an impressive run through the conference tournament, bouncing Boise State in the final. That earned them a 12 seed, which, the old 12-5 upset, if you will, probably the better team.
I think they were favored.
when it came down to it. Anyway, but Colorado State won a tournament game before getting out in the second round. So did New Mexico, though. A 10 seed, beat Marquette before losing in the second round, and then 10 seed Utah State, 11 seed San Diego State failed to get out of the first round. Drastically, Mike, it felt like underappreciated, underseeded, and on the whole there. I don't know if they're going to be able to repeat that this year in terms of 4 bids. And if they do, getting that respect may be difficult just because of how wide the conference is in terms of talent gaps. What are your thoughts here on the Mountain West before we get into our tiers?
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of seasons, they had 6 bids a couple of years ago. And we were like, whoa, but then we saw the seeding there and it was like, getting no love. I think the committee just wants to see more success rather than the Final Four championship run that San Diego State made. They want to see, I guess, more consistency. But I don't know, man. Like sixth in the country in KenPom Strength of Conference, and you're handing out 10, 11, and 12 seeds. Seems a little disrespectful here, but this year coming in, man, we're adding Grand Canyon from the WAC, and that's a solid program. It's a great ad. Their fan base travels really well, so I really like to see, and we'll talk about what they're going to be able to do in this conference. And then I don't know if we're going to get 4, man. Like, this is a fun, competitive conference. We like to stay up late and watch these games, but this year, man, it feels like the gap is kind of widening between what we're preseason going to be expectations for the top teams, and then these teams that are just at the bottom. Like, it feels like when we do our tiers, it's going to be like, usually there's maybe a couple of tier, 1 or 2 tier jumpers, as we call them, that could happen. I don't know that in this conference that's going to happen this year. So we'll break it all down here and kind of see where we're at after we talk it over. But it just feels like one of those leagues where you kind of know where things are going to fall.
And to be honest, Mike, that sort of feels why they're ceiling is capped in terms of the total number of bids that they could be looking at this year. You're almost looking at one of those teams to just find that magic on a run in the conference tournament, and then all of these other 4 teams that we're going to discuss in our high tier that is soon to come here on the show. That could feel like a way that they could get 5 in, but we'll get there when we get there. We're going to break this thing down into our low, mid, and high tiers, as you can see right there on your viewing device on the ticker on the side of your screen. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit all those buttons if you haven't already. Join 1,581 of your closest hoophead friends that have already done it. We've seen a little bit of an uptick, Mike, in the subs, man. People are getting ready for college basketball. They're excited about it, and we are too. So make sure you push that button, and we're covering all the conferences. Go back and watch all the rest of them, like Mike said, if you haven't already, after this show. And then push those buttons, because we've got quite a big schedule coming up in terms of these conferences that we'll be covering. So push all those buttons, Mike. Let's get to it, man. The Mountain West, losing some teams here soon. So what's this going to look like? Let's start here. Let's start with this season in that low tier. We call it the foundation, right, Mike? We call it the foundation. It's the low tier. We try to be nice about it here. But, Darren likes to say these are the teams that stink. And honestly, you can't really make much of a case for that not to be true about Air Force. Joe Scott, year 6. Man, what do you do there? It's Air Force. Like, it's tough. It's a very tough situation. Kyle Marshall is a good player. Caleb Walker started 5 games and played in every single game for them last season. He's coming back. It's going to be tough for them on both ends, though. Yeah, Darren, there you go. Come on. All right, that's all the negativity, okay, right there. But yeah, that's tough. It's going to be tough for Air Force. Mike, how much better will it be for the San Jose State Spartans, 7-13 last season? And ever since that, talking about magic earlier, ever since that magical run that Tim Miles had in the 2022-2023 season, they've been chasing that dragon ever since.
Yeah, and now he's going to have to try to figure it out with a new roster, man. And we talked to him, I think, a couple of off seasons ago, and yeah, it's just kind of one of those things, man. They're just trying to find that magic, like you said. You got a couple of role players that are returning that are probably going to get bigger usage here, especially Jermaine Washington. You got Sadrick Nganga there in the middle, so we'll see what those guys can do. I do like the ad here, along with transfer point guard Kobe Garland. He averaged 12 points, 4.5 assists. He's kind of a nice table setter for them. But this roster doesn't have much shooting, and defensively, they're definitely going to struggle to get inside the top 200, at least in efficiency in the country. So it's just going to be tough for the Spartans here. You got Fresno State, 2-18 last year, and look, the Vance Wahlberg era, year 1, it was one to forget. They were one of the worst offenses in the country, 340th in effective field goal percentage. It's looking like a full reset filled with with the youth movement here. So only a couple of seniors on the roster, and like 75% of the roster is either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen. They do have Jake Hybreeder from Clemson coming in. I mean, he's an outside shooter, but that's kind of what he is. It's just more of a floor spacer. Man, if you're talking about consistency in the preseason, like, outside of point guard Zion Collins, who averaged 12 points and 5 assists, it's pretty tough to find. And the final team we have down here, Jay, Wyoming, 5-15 last year, and another coach coming off of a kind of a forgettable first year. And one thing I'll say is that even though we have them in this low tier, I think Sundance Wick's squad might be the 1-tier jumper out of this group here to potentially surprise. But it's mostly a new roster. They do have the forward Matisha Belic back. He showed some flashes last year, and then in the portal they got Leland Walker out of FAU, who's played some big time basketball. So he should alleviate some of that loss from Obi Ogbin, who's headed off to Baylor. And then they got Memphis transfer guard Jared Harris hitting here, and he's another player to watch. But man, it feels like 6 to 7 wins, kind of a tough ceiling here, Jay, for the old Cowboys.
That's another place where not too long ago, I remember covering Wyoming a couple of years ago, and we were really feeling like that was a program that was on the up and coming, and then some injuries sort of derailed, and it hasn't quite been the same since.
Hunter Maldonado, Graham Ike, like
yeah, like it just sort of these schools at this level, those they're like comets, right? They're just they're bright and shiny, and it's quick, and you better catch it right then, because it'll go away just as fast as it came. And unfortunately, it does feel like where Wyoming is at the moment. All right, here we go. We got Darren asking the big questions here. How many Mountain West teams are transferring to the Tupac? No, the Pac-2, Pac-12, whatever it is that they're calling it these days. So that's I was sort of hinting at that leading into it, right? Leading into the low tier. This is a conference that's gonna lose some teams overall. Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Utah State. A whole lot of states. all joining the Pac-12 in the 26-27
Only one of them in
year.
our low tier.
Yeah, well, there you go. I guess that if you can do math and you know how many teams are in this conference, you know where some of these other teams are going to be slotted there. So could be tough sledding ahead for the Mountain West. All this realignment stuff, Mike, it's sort of hard to even keep up with it, and pretty soon there's just going to be like 4 25-team conferences, 24-team conferences with 2 12-team divisions that play that get their own champion, and then those champions play, and whatever. We're on our way, man, and we hope you hit those buttons so you join us for the ride. All right, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. We know Monday Night Football is on, but it's not like that's a fun game to watch. It's the Bengals and the Browns, the Bengals and the Broncos, and it's Bo Nix, guys. Like, call your friends, tell them to get over here to the One and Done channel and hang out with us. It'll be fun. We promise. It's already a blast, right? Look at Darren. Darren's saying give them Texas State too. Okay, well, yeah. How about it? Right there, throwing them into the Pac-12. We're gonna get Pac-12.
They got a big old sign outside of San Marcos, man.
They do. They're pumped about it. I promise you guys, if you didn't know that Texas State was pumped about joining the Pac-12, they are excited. All right, but tonight, alas, it's Mountain West night. So thanks for everybody for hanging out with us as we get to the old mid-tier for the conference. Let's start with Nevada, man. Coach Alford. It was just a consistency thing. Like, you saw it in flashes. You saw it like, oh, this is a really good team. And then you would watch them. The next time you'd watch them, it would look like a completely different ball club. And that's not going to get it done in a conference where the peak, the high teams, they are up there. And you have to play at that level on a consistent basis, and Nevada didn't do that. Now you got studs like Sanders and Davidson out the door. What's the ceiling, Mike? It kind of feels like
it's kind of tough.
The floor and the ceiling are sort of really close to each other, which to me equals the exact definition of what a team in the mid-tier will look like. So Tayshawn Comerbrink coming in, from Evansville. Is that going to transfer to this conference? Like, it's tough. He's already not very efficient. You hope that he could clean that up if you're a Wolfpack. If you're a member of the Wolfpack, UTEP transfer guard Corey Camper coming in as well. These are both the steps up in competitions, man. It's tough. This is not some, Mickey Mouse league to come into and just think you're going to duplicate what you did at Evansville or UTEP. They're going to have to prove it. Plus, Mike, I think the front court's a little suspect too. So it's just the floor. It's 9 wins. I feel very comfortable saying that and putting them right here. And now this was the head scratcher, obviously, and until we thought more about it and realized what the move was for. But you got Nico Medved, who was having a hell of a run with Colorado State, and then it's like, I'm like, Mike, it's college basketball purgatory. It's Minnesota, and it's like, of course, he graduated from there. So, with that being said, 16-4 last season, and keeping it in-house, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's the ceiling here. I don't know, man. It's tough to envision them getting back to that 16 wins again. What are your thoughts on the Rams?
Yeah, so they're going to have his former assistant, Ali Farouk-Manesh, take over and try to keep the train rolling, but you're trying to replace, the best player in program history, one of
Easy.
Lee Clifford.
Yeah,
the guy, just a monster last year, and most of the talent from last year's squad is gone. Now, you do have forwards Rashawn Mimba and Kyle Jorgensen that are coming back, but they kind of are. I feel like they kind of are what they are. They're going to be solid role players. They're going to get an opportunity to shine, though. You look at this backcourt. You got Virginia Tech transfer Brandon Rexsteiner coming in. Marist transfer Josh Pasquarelli. He can score. He can shoot it. They're going to have the ball in their hands a lot. And they also have a couple of intriguing down transfers, which I think are going to kind of boost this upside here. You're getting Jace Butler coming in from Washington, Kerry Booth coming in from Illinois. Those guys obviously not getting a lot of playing time. Now going to get some opportunity here. So I like the floor. Expectations a little tampered until we kind of see it all together.
All right, but with this, is this a team though, man? It's a system that's in place, and if you can keep that, like you were saying, keep the train rolling, right? Yeah. If you can keep that thing rolling, and you got guys, these aren't guys that are transferring up in competition. These are guys that have been doing it at big conference basketball and practicing in that environment and getting better at that environment coming down. Is Colorado State that team that could sort of make that jump for you? I mean, I know we're about to talk about Grand Canyon here, but I mean, it does feel like that there are possibilities maybe for some of these mid-tiers to mid-tier teams to do that. Could it be Colorado State? Could it be Grand Canyon? Obviously, that's a program that's, making the jump here and an entire program making a jump into this conference.
Yeah, I think the guy that I'm keying in on for Colorado State is Jace Butler. When you look at his recruiting profile, he's basically a top 100 kid from a couple of years ago. So I expect him to be able to kind of do some things here with Colorado State. Pasquarelli, we'll see. I think he's going to be able to shoot it at a solid clip, but I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to get 14, 15 points per game out of him. And then Rexsteiner, Virginia Tech, he's just. He's okay. Now the Mountain West and the ACC, I don't know how much of a difference between those two conferences last year. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna have more opportunity because he's not in the ACC. I mean, you're not gonna get Air Force and things like that. We'll talk about the teams in the low tier, and it's not. They're probably the lowest of the P5 programs in the ACC. But yeah, man, I don't know. It feels like we just kind of don't know. But he said the system is in place, and his former assistant, Farouk-Manesh is there. So you just kind of expect Colorado State to kind of be in the mix, right? But we don't really expect a big ceiling out of these guys. And then you just mentioned Grand Canyon. Look, man, I love what Bryce Drew's done with this program. Basically, he's been dominating the WAC and made the tournament in 4 of the last 5 years. We're always talking about them. Well, now they got more competition. This isn't the WAC. So we were talking about this the other day. With Seattle U, they're jumping up in competition, and all those guys are gone, man. Tyler Grant Foster, Ray Harrison, Duke Brennan. look, they're getting Mekhi Williams back, who he's going to step into a bigger role this year, much higher usage opportunity, and they're going to have a plethora of new faces. Now, I like Dusty Stromer coming in from Gonzaga. He's definitely a breakout candidate. We saw him in spurts last year. You have Jaden Henley, who's proven to be a weapon within the league, averaged 12.5 points, shot 35% from three. I like the size on the roster. The defensive profile is nice because you have the Brown transfer big, Nana Owusu-Anane. We'll call him NOA, missed last year with injury, but he can protect the rim for you. So, some of the question marks surrounding a mid-tier kind of stem from the lack of like perceived depth on paper and known playmakers at this level. So I just don't be surprised if Drew has these guys in position in February. It wouldn't shock me, but it's just tough to see it before we see kind of all these new pieces in this system. And then you have UNLV, man, the Kevin Kruger era. I mean, it was solid, but they just couldn't get over the hump and get into the NCAA tourney. So now Josh Pastner's coming back, so he's not going to be doing any more ESPN stuff, listening to him at halftime. But he's back in the coaching scene, and I am intrigued by the roster. You have Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn coming in from Illinois. I think he has a monster ceiling as a breakout candidate. Nas Cunningham coming in from Alabama, consensus top 50 high school recruit last offseason. And you have high point forward Kamani Hamilton, man, who was one of the 2-3 key guys for High Point the last couple of years. So he's obviously a big component to what they're going to do. But the ceiling, man, you look at the outside shooting profile of this team, and it is not good. And then you look at the ability to defend the rim, and that's not great either. So that's not a great mix to have, and I think that's what's going to limit UNLV's ceiling.
That's tough when you have so many components of what could be a winning basketball team, and then you just look and it's like, who's gonna make threes? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why they're in the old mid tier, right alongside Grand Canyon. Welcome to the conference. Colorado State and the old Wolf Pack, who Darren says he considers us a part of his Wolf Pack now. We definitely appreciate that. He's part of our Wolf Pack. I used to consider myself a bit of a loner. Then I met you guys. Anyways, good to see y'all in the chat. Good to see everybody hanging out. I know y'all. Hey, yeah, some of you. I know y'all put us on two screens side by side. Us with whatever football or whatever else you're watching. Turn us. You don't want to listen to that football game anyway. Just turn up cranky top. Put us on one and done, full blast, baby, on your viewing device. And push those buttons if you haven't already. Like and subscribe. If you're hanging out with us over on X, shout out to you. Good to see you over there. Get on over to YouTube. Type it in. One and Done College Basketball. WON. And Done College Basketball. It's going to pop up. Even if you Google us, our YouTube page, type in One and Done, WON and Done College Basketball. Even if you Google us, it'll show up right there near the top. Just go do whatever you got to do and click it and get over to hang out with us. I mean, we got 5 more conference previews.
That's it. But we got more stuff coming.
We got more. I mean, we've got betting stuff coming up. The DFS shows are going to be hopping to, we got to shout out our MC Holland 34 invitationals that I know Darren will not be playing somebody, but I'll let him type that in the chat later on. Oh, Snake's Eye said he's got Joe Dirt on the big screen. Joe Dirte. Don't try to church it up there, Dirt. Good stuff there. There you go. One and done on the big screen in the living room. Be like Darren. Be like Darren. Do it. Put us on the big screen and crank it up. Surround sound, full blast. As we get onto the old high, so high, the high tier. And if you can count 4, 4, and 4, that makes a dozen. And that fills out the nice little graphic. Look at that. That's a nice looking graphic. The old high, mid, and low. The Lobos, not low, the Lobos, 17-3 in the conference last season. Richard Pitino out the door. What do you do? I mean, this is a team 17-3 riding high, and then your coach just says, peace out. So what do? Do you get scared and do you just, I don't know what to do? No, you go out and you hire 2-time Big West Coach of the Year, Eric Olson. Boom. In there. I mean, this is the perfect type of a hire for this program. Wasted very little time, Coach Olson, that is, wasted very little time putting together a competitive squad, or what will be a competitive squad, for year one. Mike, Lobo fans should not be worried. Don't fret. You might not get 17 wins in year one, but you're going to be in the top third of this conference for sure. And it's kind of interesting because this is a team that's sort of made up of former West Coast players. Kevin Patton,
representing.
Yeah, former big-time scorer in the Big West. Utah State transfer, Dayton Albury, 8 points, 43 and a third, or 43. I was in 43, and that's a lot of threes up on the screen right there. Like 43% from three. Gotta like that. North Dakota State transfer guard to Javis Miller, average 10.5 for them. All experience and that stability in the backcourt. And then Coach Olson brought with him Chris Howell, Milos Vasentic, who will both challenge for starting spots. And when you talk about the continuity with these coaches, Mike, taking over, especially at a program where you just want to keep it rolling, it's a system. This is one of the hardest places to play in college basketball. It's built in there. It's a great environment. You know, it's a great place to play college basketball. How do you keep it going? You have to have guys that know your system. You have to have guys that can come in and immediately be the glue that hold things together. And Howell and Vasentic will do just that. You know what else you need to bring in? You need to bring in guys who are 7'1", and you can't teach that. Big Dipper dipping down from Iowa State. We're talking JT Rock, all name for sure, has the upside, but it's looking for that opportunity, Mike. So can he make it happen for the Lobos and Coach Olson? How about Antonio Chol, 19.5 and 7.5 boards at the JUCO level? How much of that will transfer over, we'll see. But a consensus top 10 JUCO transfer nonetheless. It's kind of interesting looking at the metrics. We love Torvik. We're a Torvik shop here, usually on the show. They don't love this team a lot. Like, it just for whatever reason. But it's hard to ignore the upside, and it's hard to ignore what Coach Olson brings to the table. This is the longest we've talked about any one team, and I think that that's important to
100%
to disseminate. That
they have a wide range of outcomes, but
it
high
is
potential.
such a wide range of outcomes for sure, and it's going to be one of those teams that, Mike, you talked about staying up late and watching some of these games. Like, the Lobos are the reason that I want to stay up late for sure. What about San Diego State, Mike? That's another team. You mentioned their recent success in the tournament earlier on. Where else would the Aztecs be but the high grade, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about New Mexico, right? And it's like the wide range of outcomes. Well, I mean, San Diego State, Boise State, Utah State, like, they're just consistently at the top. I think, obviously, with all the changes at New Mexico, it's a little tougher to project them, especially with the metrics you're talking about with Torvik. But you know what you're going to get out of San Diego State, Boise State, and Utah State. So, I mean, look, Brian Dutcher, one of the best coaches in the country. Look what he has coming back. Somehow he was able to get Magoon Gwath back. Like, this guy is an animal. Freshman year, 8.5 points, nearly 3 blocks per game, but he shot 37% from three. He flirted with the portal. There's all kinds of talk. He's going to, going here, going there. But he decides to come back. So I think that's one of the biggest storylines for this squad. He gives them a huge, huge ceiling here. Both ends of the floor, he just impacts the game. You got guard BJ Davis is back. Miles Bird, one of the better scorers in the conference, is back. And then they get the bonus return of Reese Waters, man. Snake Eyes. Okay, 38%. Snake Eyes, 38%.
Hey, I mean, I think we know Snake Eyes likes that guy right there. We like
yeah,
sure
exactly,
we got to the thousandth of a decimal point there.
Man, you got him rolling on the 3/4 of the quarters.
I love it.
They want every decimal now, man. But also Reese Waters is back. Like, he missed all of last year, so I like the depth that they added too. They got Latrell Davis coming in from San Jose State. He shot 38% in this league last year. Sean Newman averaged 8 assists at Louisiana Tech. So they got another table setter, a playmaker. I don't obviously think he's going to have like this massive role, but he's going to definitely, set the table for them and be an important piece off the bench for them. So depth in the front court, you got Miles Heide for Ocompton. The addition of Jeremiah Oden is going to go a little overlooked. So, man, just good luck to the rest of the league. And then we got Boise State, man, friend of the show, Leon Rice. He just gets W's, man. Like, yeah, we're losing that core, man. Cardenas, Degenhart, Stanley, they're out of eligibility. This roster has talent. You got Ford Andrew Meadow, 13 points per game, 35%, breakout season, and now he's going to be a focal offensively. They always get these guys where it's like Yeah, look at them on paper, you're like, oh, okay, but like they turn out to be like really solid players. Pearson Carmichael, RJ Keene, they're in the rotation last year. I think they're gonna show a little bit more now with expanded roles. And then I like what they did in the portal, man. Like I know UCLA guard Dylan Andrews, it was just so inconsistent, and I don't think Cronin's system was doing him any favors, man. But I think he'll have a nice year for them, as that lead guard. And then Drew Fielder coming in from Georgetown, man, like he has a lot of upside to be a dominant player in this Mountain West if he can clean up his efficiency. So I know he got a lot of run last year. This program always had a solid floor, and I think they have just enough upside to kind of challenge near the top. And then last team here, Jay, Utah State. Train keeps rolling, dude. It's like Drake, right? Like they just, if you go coach there, you're gonna get promoted pretty soon. Like Jared Calhoun, bested the win total of his promoted predecessors. He had Danny Sprinkle, he had Ryan Odom, 15 conference wins. They were great offensively. But they did have some issues defensively, man. I think that could be an Achilles heel for this team this year. But still like them. I think offensively, man, they're going to be really good again. Mason Falslev is back, 15 points, 39%. He'll be up there for player of the year candidate. Drake Allen was solid last year for them. He's going to start at point guard. He got another year with that JUCO eligibility. Colby King is in that backcourt, shot 40% from three. So he's a nice addition. Tucker Anderson, I think he'll take a big step forward in that front court. And then Gary Clark, going to be an X factor for them, man. Like he was a huge, big-time player in the Southland with Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Don't think we're going to see those type of numbers, 15 and 8 out of him, but I think he's kind of the key to them, challenging at the very, very top. I think at the very least, though, their floor is going to get them, 11, 12 plus wins for sure. So they also have, Jay, one of the best incoming freshman classes of this entire conference. So yeah, a lot of upside here for Utah State.
One of the most overlooked moves, I think, of this conference is what Drake Allen's going to bring to Utah State. When you talk about guys that are programs that are finding those, okay, a little bit, extra year of eligibility here because you played at the JUCO level, let's just slide you right in to something like this, and you can start at point guard. I mean, like, this is not a guy that hasn't done it at all. Like, he can distribute the basketball. I think it's one of the less talked about and underappreciated moves. I think it's going to work out tremendously for Utah State, who is joined by Boise State, San Diego State, and New Mexico in the high tier. In the old mid-tier for the Mountain West, UNLV, Grand Canyon joining from the WAC, Colorado State, and the Wolfpack of Nevada. And then right down there at the bottom, the old low tier, the foundation of the conference, Air Force, San Jose State, Fresno State, and mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Not the Wyoming Cowboys, and not right now anyway. We hope that that Coach Wicks finds a way to jump out of that low tier and make some noise in the conference. We sure hope that we're wrong about it. Darren letting us know he's not going to play Jaden Epps in the MC Holland 34 Invitational over on DraftKings once we get the season started. We're going to do plenty of that, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you're along for that ride if you're a DFS guy or gal. If you just want the news and notes, we're going to be bringing that to you as well. Follow us at One and Done CBB. We've got our top 20 player countdown in full effect right now. We got some other things popping up here and there. Reply over there. Let us know what you think about some of these coaches, some of these players, everything that we're posting over there. Make sure you hop in there. And if you're not watching live, if you're watching later, get in the comment section. Let us know. Show us some love. Show us whatever you want to show us. Some emojis. I mean, get creative in the old comment section in the chat here. Even if it's about UNT football, we still want to see it in the live chat. Shout out to Darren, go mean green. Good to see you in the live chat. Good to see Snake's Eyes. Shout out to our guy at Nape C Hustle over there on X, pushing the buttons tonight. Our guy Nape doing a good job as always. At Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Eric the Blue, give him a follow for all your football, fantasy football, whatever you want. He's the best this side of the Mississippi. What side, you ask? Whatever side you're on. That's Eric. Shout out to my guy Mike, El Capitan around these parts, at MC Holland 34 on X. Give him a follow. You won't be disappointed. And what do we got coming up, Mike? next on the adult agenda.
Why don't we go
it
back
is.
to back tomorrow, man? A little ACC talk. We know that conference likes to get a lot of attention.
You were fluffing it up a little bit. Darren called you out for talking really good about the Toy Poodle Conference, and maybe that was just because we want. Maybe that's just because we want people to make sure they tune in for the show on a Tuesday. No, all jokes aside, we'll be covering the ACC tomorrow. It's going to be a fun one. Obviously, we know at the top what we're going to be dealing with, but plenty of talent in that conference to discuss as well. ACC on a Tuesday, tentative Big East on Thursday. Either way, we're going to get it to you all live and local. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to find you right here on our YouTube channel, One and Done College Basketball. So make sure you push all the buttons. Tell somebody about us. Tell all the hoop heads in your life to get over here to the channel and push those buttons. We definitely appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Tell somebody that you love them and take care of yourself. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.